Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Rogue Legacy. Been a couple of days. Probably not for you. I'm trying to do this on an every other day schedule, kind of based off of... Ooh, we're Neo again. Based off of, like, you know, one day is Tower of Guns, one day is Rogue Legacy. Because realistically, I like me some Tower of Guns, but after a certain point, there's not a whole lot new in it. I'm at, like, 92% stuff found. And, like, at this point, the only thing I haven't figured out yet is how to cheat. Which is kind of unfortunate anyway. Well, that actually worked out better than I thought it would. That didn't work out better than I thought it would. Anyway, I don't even know. Rogue Legacy is definitely one of those, like, fun and interesting games, but this is definitely one of those where it's like, the grindiness, I think, is going to get to me towards the end, but that's why doing it daily is a good thing. Or not daily is a good thing. I can't imagine anybody that would play this game, like, day in, day out for hours and hours straight. But then again, I guess I'm probably going to be playing this for, like, another, I don't know, hour or two or something like that. But, I don't know. I'm a hypocrite. I have to say, though, there's, like, some level of just, like, baseline... I don't exactly have the right word for it. I guess it's, like, satisfaction for just grinding on things. I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, but I'm gonna talk about it again just because, I don't know, I like talking about this sort of thing. Sword wall. That did far less than I was hoping it would. Ow. Freaking eyeball. So, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, and, you know, a lot of people talk about it, how it's like a massive waste of time and life and whatnot. When it comes down to it, it was actually one of my favorite games, my teenage years, for certain. Largely because, I don't know. Oh, shoot. Largely because it was simple, it was easy, it was low commitment, but entertaining nonetheless. There's always a sense of, you know, progress and growth and community that I feel like a lot of games are lacking. Of course, I play a lot of single-player games now. I guess I play a lot of multiplayer games too, but, like Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy, I think, would be so much more fun if I could co-op it with, like, imagine 4 people running through a castle, just, like, wrecking shit up and getting loot and whatnot. It would be really entertaining. It's part of the reason why I liked Risk of Rain so much, but the problem with Risk of Rain is, well, Risk of Rain has really bad lag issues, at least from what we were running to. We might actually be able to fix it based on frame rate, but, well, don't quote me on whether or not that's gonna work. But I guess I'm just a very social person, even though I'm kind of a hermit right now. I really like playing with other people. Right now it'd be really cool to be playing, like, I don't know, I guess I miss the good old days of playing Diablo with my brother. We'd play pretty much the entire thing through. Never actually got up to, like, past Nightmare mode to Hell or Inferno. I think Inferno was the end. But, man, did I love playing me some Diablo. Of course, my brother didn't like it as much because I had kind of the bad habit of cheating. Not so much that it was, like, game-breaking or anything like that, but I really like to be a barbarian and just, like, boost up some of my, like, ridiculous passive abilities. Like, oh, the stamina thing, so I could run forever really fast, or I could... Ow. You're gonna hurt. You know, I could do basic stuff. I was also the kind of person that would... I don't think I can get through there, unfortunately. It's close. Oh, I wonder. I'm close to getting through, but I don't think I'm gonna make it, so Is there even a reason for me to be in here? The answer seems to be no, but I'm here and we're about to die. Not dead yet. Okay, got the gold. Does not look like there's a tangible benefit, though. It's just a room full of pain and awful. And yeah, there's a chest in here, but there's no way I'm ever going to be able to get it because, well, when it comes down to it, I'm not a midget. Makes me sad. Anyway, we got... Not going through there. That room is the scaries. Now, we've got this one. I don't see an eyeball or eyeball projectile, so that's good at least. We've got this cannon and it's shooting through. So, let's wait until it hits, you know, because we're kind of on the edge at this point, and we want to avoid getting chunked down too much. Now, hopefully the Ice Mage will come for a visit. come for a visit again, and there we go. And we have to deal with this night. I really hope we can get some wall chicken in here at some point, because, well, my survival is kind of dependent on it. Otherwise, we are going to be hanging by a thread for a very long time. And I like not hanging by threads. Nope, no wall chicken there. But we are making a fair amount of money from this room, so I guess the risk-reward is tangibly useful. Almost walked myself into the skeleton. Is there even any reason to be in this room apart from killing a couple of things? The answer seems to be no. Apart from the loot, there is no reason to be in here. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point of everything, but I've been in better rooms as far as, like, loot goes. Please don't hit me. That would be very unfortunate, just waiting for a spike ball to go by and getting killed by it anyway. Freaking eyeballs. Oh, right, it's this room. Wait for those to go by. Actually, that worked out a hell of a lot better than I thought it would. I thought we were going to die a very painful and grisly death. Oh. I was like, there's something dangerous about this room, but I can't quite put my finger on it. The answer was, infinite spikes. Gotta avoid that. Kill the shit out of this guy. Oh, I must be, endo... scrotumic. I don't even know. Gotta avoid that. I gotta lure this guy over. We're never gonna make it. What if I did that? Nope. That did nothing. Well, it kind of did something. It actually worked in a particularly terrible way as far as, like, our survival goes. But I think we can make it closer. Oh, no. I knocked him up onto the platform just as he was hitting me, and it was... Anyway, World of Warcraft. Love to play that game. In... Could be a Hokage, ADHD, PAD, Gigantism. And we're an assassin, apparently. So... What is this? Downstrike up. Oh, don't need that. Don't have the money for it. Can keep putting money into armor, health. Let's keep putting it into armor. Not entirely sure what it does. Hopefully it gives us, like, a nice passive bonus to everything. Anyway, I didn't have a whole lot of friends in high school. Like, I had friends, but, like, the gamer guys were really juvenile. These were the kinds of guys that would play, like, Call of Duty and Counter-Strike, and nothing against those games, but these are the guys that, like, would have a LAN party, and so it would be, like, you know, Steve, Bob, and Joe on one team, and Steve, Bob, and Joe are really good friends of each other and play together all the time, so their teamwork is phenomenal, this, that, and the other thing. And then you'd have, like, myself and Luke and whatever. These are not their names, by the way, so, you know, not incriminating in the slightest. But, you know, then there'd be the B team, which I would be on because I wasn't as close to these guys. I didn't like playing Counter-Strike that much. And the B team... we sucked. We were not very good at Counter-Strike. Wow, we already died. I guess I'm distracted. But, so the B team, you know, I like to play RPGs. I like to play, you know, non-first-person shooter things, non-competitive things, because I'm not a competitive person. Fan of the man. But, so I'd be playing with these guys, and so it would be like, Team A just rolls us. And, like, maybe I get a kill or two, maybe I get really lucky. Usually sometime around 3 in the morning, they'd be too tired to care, and I'd be acclimatized to staying up late, so I'd actually be, like, good at it. But it was still just one of those, it's like, having friends that aren't fun to play with, really not worth being around. Wow, that turret just flipped it back around and hit me in the face. Gotta watch out for the fire orbs. And, I don't know, so after a while I just decided that friend group was not worth being around, especially because, like, they were just toxic people. They would, they were the kind of nerds that would, like, pretend that they smoked weed. They were the kind of nerds that pretend they smoked, well, smoked cigarettes, drank, stuff like that. And they really didn't. They were all pretty straight and narrow as far as I could tell. I mean, maybe they got into weed later on, but I never was really interested in this stuff. And, like, maybe I can see the merits for some people, but just not my thing. But, these guys were just tools about it, to the point where it's just like, well, this isn't fun. This is just kind of posing in the worst possible way. So, quit that friend group and was like, well, where do I go next? And I hung out with a lot of people, had a couple of different friend groups, never really made that great of connections with them. Part of the problem is the town I was in, everybody, there were or 4 elementary schools that everybody had gone to. I believe it was 4. I could be miscounting the number. I'd kill these guys before they hit me. But when it came down to it, everybody had made friends as young kids. There were very few new people coming to the school system because it was a very, like, wealthy school district. So it was pretty expensive to be a new kid. So me being a new kid, a bit of an outsider. Not a big deal. A lot of kids are nice to the new kid. And I gotten over my extremely high-pitched voice that I had in middle school. So didn't get as much shit for that. But, you know, still kind of off on the periphery. So I joined the track team, tried it out. But because of my, like, tiny-ass nose and general breathing problems, it's not exactly easy for me to run long distance. And, like, pistol shrimp. I wonder if I can change it more. I'm gonna switch it back to pistol shrimp. Narwhal. Never mind. We're good. But I joined the track team, but, like, I don't know. Sports teams in general have always been bad for me. I guess today is going to be Wander talks about social issues. I hope you guys are okay with that. If, like, you know how I was talking about in the previous episodes, I wanted this to be me just, like, ranting about things in my life and whatnot. Well, it's going to be. I finally have the focus for it. I finally am getting back into the Rogue Legacy groove, at the very least. Shit. Well, that sucked. And we died. Oh well, does not matter that much. I was like, well, I'll talk about real life stuff. And then, got a fairy room, and it's like, well, I can't pass up this opportunity. Anyway, wizard, paladin, or assassin. Yeah, let's go for another assassin. They're a bit weak on the health standpoint, but I like their damage. Okay, so what do we got? Crit damage up. It's okay. Don't need it. Let's see if I can afford anything else, because I really don't want to drive up my prices for any other things that I could get. Ooh, hello. New helmet. Yep, I could get that. Anything else? New gloves. So that's magic or helmet. Helmet is health, right? Yeah. So we got a new helmet. Can I afford the gloves? Nope. Cannot afford gloves. That's okay. Kind of an ugly helmet if you ask me. But whatever. Can't complain too much. Need to get me some new runes. Guess I should probably start playing as some dwarves, even though I tend to die as them. Anyway, so, yeah, I think I was talking about, like, joining sports teams and stuff, and it was like, I was on baseball teams, soccer teams, lacrosse teams, but the problem is, once again, I was kind of always a new kid, a perpetual new kid. Sports teams out in California, where I spent a lot of, like, my childhood. Oh, we're gonna take some damage here against Zombie Man. It's frustrating because we don't have a whole lot of health to be sacrificing to zombie people. Anyway, so grew up in California, and the way the teams worked is like, if you were born on an odd year, you'd be able to stick with a team every year. But if you were born on an even year, you kind of had to switch around. For whatever reason, I think it was because, like, there were weird age limits that you had to deal with. It was confusing. I don't know. I was young. I don't remember, like, half of it. But essentially, my brother could have stayed on the on one team the entire time, and I had to switch around a lot, which wasn't that big of a deal, but it did mean I never really had a, you know, solid group of people to play sports with, which of course meant that I always got the, oh, this must have been one of their other games. Quick hiatus from what I'm talking about. Bullet Odyssey. Development time, 3.5 months. Release date, November 5th, 2011. Bullet Odyssey was our very last game prior to working on Rogue Legacy. Being a bullet hell that was based on rhythm and beat charts, Bullet Odyssey was the most technically challenging game we had ever worked on. Yes, even more so than Rogue Legacy. Just to create Stage 3 required 3 editors running in unison. Development for this game was also a little non-traditional, as a lot of pre-planning was required to make sure everything clicked. Being heavy advocates against documentation, this didn't settle well with us, so we had to talk out the whole game for like half a day. The game had the player absorbing enemy bullets in order to fire them back, and absorption happened on a beat which matched the song being played. Initial playtests were disastrous as the game was too hard, and people became incredibly frustrated in the very first minute. By playtest, we mean one dude who doesn't even like bullet hells, but that's larger than our usual test pool. The game didn't perform very well when released. That gave us the confidence to make Rogue Legacy. Fun. But, so, I mean, I was on soccer teams, I was on baseball teams, but no, I'm gonna take some damage there. Damage that we really can't afford, but, oh well. But, so, like, I was on soccer teams, and usually I ended up as defense, because I was kind of a chubby kid. Gotta be wary of, like, everything here. But, like, I ended up with a lot of teammates that really didn't care about me, because, you know, I was not as good at soccer as, like, everybody else. I was really good at running people off of the field as a defenseman, but that was pretty much it. And so, like, the first couple of years were okay, little kids. The amount of bullying that a little kid can do is a lot less than, you know, some other groups, especially, like, high schoolers and whatnot. Oh, this is going to be a problem. It's going to hit me in the head, isn't it? No, it's not. Oddly enough. Should have just blitzed it for the chest. Oh, well. But I think kind of what ended up clinching it was, like, I had a personal ball that I would bring to practice because the team didn't have enough balls for us. Whatever. Not a big deal. And when it ended, like, in the end, I think they were just playing keep away from me for, like, an entire practice, and the coach did nothing about it, and the kids were very mean about it, and I think it ended up with them, like, kicking balls at me, too. It's kind of foggy in my memory. It was, what, 15 years ago? Maybe I was, like, 12. So, I guess only 11 years ago, but even then, that's a long time. But, essentially, bullying to the point where it's just like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. So why do I even have to do this anymore? My mom, more or less, got it from both my brother and I, because we were on the same team at the time, luckily. And she pretty much got the hint, oh, they don't want to be in soccer anymore. I loved soccer. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed the sport. It was fun to get out and get exercise, but, you know, just not having a consistent group, and the only group that I had to play with, you know, as bullies, well, we quit. And kind of as revenge, us quitting towards the end of the season, our team actually had done quite well with my brother and I on the sidelines, but I guess the rules of the league or whatever was you had to have X number of players on your team, you know, officially signed up for at least a couple months, so you can just, like, suddenly pad out your roster. Or, oh, we got lucky. We made 100 gold. That was not worth it. Anyway, so you had to have, like, X number of players on your team. Well, since my brother and I had been more or less chased off by the rest of the team, it was just like, oh, well, you know what? They can't compete in the tournament. They actually had a good chance at winning, too, which is kind of hilarious to me because, well, I really didn't have a whole lot of pity for them after, you know, spending pretty much an entire season bullying myself and my brother, so it's like, okay, well, that's enough with organized sports for me. Then I tried lacrosse, which is even worse. I tried baseball, but it was about the same story there. I have pretty bad astigmatism, so I only use one eye, so my depth perception is kind of crappy. With my glasses on, I can actually see pretty well, out of both eyes, no problem, but I still find myself looking out of my left eye predominantly, which actually makes it really hard for me to do archery, hilariously enough. Because, well, if I'm a right-handed person, if you're a righty, you're supposed to... Oh, come on. You're supposed to use your right eye to shoot arrows, and I almost never look out of my right eye, like, as a primary thing. It actually gives me a bit of a headache for doing so. So it's just like, how do I bow? So if I'm ever shooting a bow, my instructor just looks at me like I'm crazy. Well, there's no reason to be in there. But yeah, so, I don't know. Tried track, and it was kind of the same story. There was not a whole lot of, like, specific bullying. There kind of was, but it was much more minimal, much less, like, frustratingly, I don't know, difficult to deal with. But it was still just kind of one of those, like, I was only on the team to get some exercise and fulfill my requirements, which probably peeved the coach, but I at least tried. I was actually captain of the discus team, if only because everybody else was a meathead, and I was smaller than them, but I actually understood the form, because you'd think discus, oh, it's just like frisbee, you chuck a disc a long distance. Actually, it's kind of complicated. It requires a lot of spinning, and if you don't get the footwork properly, you're just going to whiff it sideways, which is hilarious to watch, but not exactly... Ow. He knew I was coming and he hit me in the shins. But, I don't know. When it came down to it, it was still kind of a valuable experience. I wish I had spent more of my time running, though. But, you know, as a chubby-ish dude, running, not exactly high on the bucket list. Anyway, we can buy armor, we can buy damage. Can't afford downstrike, can't afford... We really can't afford to expand our castle at all. Let's go for the attack up, because really the higher our damage is going to be, the better off we're going to be. Also, we're a midget, so our damage is going to suck more than a little bit. That's fine. Yes, take all but 3 gold, or 4 gold. Hey, we lucked out. Apparently it's rounded up heavily. Anyway, I'm trying to think of other things, I guess, socially. I guess I should probably get back to the original topic. But essentially in all of this, except for, like, the anime club I was part of, I really didn't have a whole lot of social contacts. Or, like, social people to hang out with. And even then, you really don't want to spend too much time around an anime club, because that's when you get really weird. So instead, got into World of Warcraft. I played RuneScape for years, too, but I don't think that counts nearly as effectively. Oh, this is concerning. Oh, this is another one of their games, apparently. Band of Bears. Development time, 4 months. Release date, August 6, 2009. This is our second game we ever attempted, and it was for the 2009 Dream Build Play Contest. We found out about it pretty late, so we had to play catch up with everyone else. Fresh off of the success of DSYP, we decided to go big, stupidly big, and thus Cellar Door Games was formed. On top of starting a project well beyond our resources and expertise, we also juggled full-time jobs to get this game running. It was pretty lucky. The game features the Bears system, Bear Effort Adaptable Room System, which would change rooms depending on the number of players playing. The Bears system didn't just tweak numbers, it tweaked puzzles as well. We ended up in the top 20, which was good, but not high enough to win anything. Eventually, reality and common sense came back to us, and we realized we had to scrap the project, or in the very least, put it on indefinite hiatus. The demo boss was pretty freaking cool. That actually looks kind of fun. I should go see if there's a demo out or something like that and see if I can play with people. That'd be entertaining. Anyway, so yeah, got into World of Warcraft, and like, I knew some people that played World of Warcraft. Ironically, the old game group that I was complaining about, we've got a scary over here. Which means, let's go for this first, Blood Sword. That actually would be really useful. Okay, so we gotta be wary of this guy, so I'm just gonna mostly use my mana to take out everything and anything apart from him. Okay, now we're good. Okay. There we go, and he's dead. He actually dropped a fair amount of money. Awesome. Not as much as I wanted, but you know what, when it comes down to it, we got ourselves the Blood Sword, which is far more useful than most of the other items we've gotten recently, because that actually gives us health based on kills, which is useful. Anyway, so I knew some people that played World of Warcraft. Actually, ironically, I got into it because, oh wow, we actually have a lot of health left, so I thought we were kind of in trouble, but it turns out, no, we're actually doing quite well. It's mana that we're short on. So, you know, after hanging out with the game group for a while and getting bored with them, made other friends, and they're kind of the, actually, they were kind of the, like, literature, artsy girls and guys. It was mostly girls, oddly enough, but whatever, didn't question it. I think it was based on an ex-girlfriend I had at the time, or girlfriend gone ex-girlfriend, but whatever. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that one. Going through and getting back, probably going to result in pain. I need a paladin for that one, honestly. That is fine. But, so, I had a different group of friends, but they would... Ow, stupid freaking wisps. Guess I should probably be using my slide dodge to kill these guys. Anyway, so I've made friends with these girls, whatever, and not like it really matters what their gender was, but unfortunately, high school girls, not all of them, Shell is definitely an example of an exception, but a lot of them really want to be in relationships. So I would go to these parties expecting we'd hang out, watch a movie, make cookies, whatever. Boring stuff. Maybe a little girly for most guys, but I really don't care one way or another. I get made fun of for it sometimes, but it doesn't really bother me. Oh, this is a lot of concern down here, and let me guess, this brings us to a different room. Well, it kind of does. But it ended up turning into a makeout party. If you've ever been to a makeout party as a single dude, it's the most boring shit ever, because everybody else is making out with their significant other or a casual hookup, and let's be honest, I'm not the kind of guy that does that sort of thing. So I was pretty much there by myself with one of the girls' little brothers, and so we went off to go play WarioWare for a while, and then eventually I went off to watch him play some World of Warcraft. When it came down to it, that was actually probably one of the more interesting, or at least entertaining parties I had been to in a long time, because, well, most of the rest of them had turned into makeup parties, so this one was, well, it at least resulted in something halfway entertaining. We got a knight chestplate. Hey, we're upgrading our arsenal. We're really not finding a whole lot of money this run, but we're definitely making up for it in blueprints. Useful. But, so watched him play World of Warcraft for a while, and I was like, hey, this looks fun. Maybe, you know, I can get him to play with me. And we did actually play together, but he ended up being a lot more casual than I. Well, not casual, he really liked his PvP. I don't like PvP that much. There's too much cheesing, too many, like, one class is better than the other, and it ends up being, like, too powerful, or, you know, my favorite class was underpowered at the time, and it just was annoying. Ow. Bones. Bones, why are you a problem? At least we can get to the chest. And it gave me money. Exactly what we needed. Because, well, I want to get that blood sword. Not gonna get, oh, hey. This is an evil Doomvis. I don't actually want to be here anymore. So I'm actually just going to get the heck out of Dodge. I'm not even going to bother with it. Maybe the Doomvis would drop some money, but I don't want to deal with it. But, yeah, never really liked PvP. What kind of evil room is this? At least I do enough damage that it's not really a problem. Kinda wish I had Gigantism for this. But, not really a big deal. Anyway, so I ended up playing World of Warcraft for a while, got into a guild, hung out with people. Actually, the old friend group that I kind of ditched because they were boring, they had been playing World of Warcraft too, so they recruited me on a different server. So, you know, originally leveled one character up to 80, and then switched servers, another character, actually it was 70 at the time, another character up to 70. I didn't care, I was actually doing something at least halfway entertaining in my mind. And then, you know, that entire group quits World of Warcraft all at once. I think there was, like, some huge snafu as far as, like, one guy slept with another guy's girlfriend at the time, and it was just like, well, this has become infinitely shittier, 1,000 times faster than I expected. Expected that I'd at least be able to play the game with them, but it was mostly just like, well, let's get up to max level, and then everybody quits the game, and it was like, oh, okay. We got a chest over here. Just a matter of getting there. Fire orbs. Don't want. Oh, still got hit, but we're still doing okay on the health meter. We just gotta live long enough to get the treasure here. There we go. Okay, so that was kind of a mess. So eventually, I just decided playing with people in real life, not actually a good plan. Just kind of results in disappointment and frustration. So decided, screw it. I'm just gonna go off on my own, do my own thing, play on my own server, have fun with it. Started doing that. Made friends with a bunch of people online, and I was actually happier for it because there were no commitments. There was no frustration. You didn't have to worry about, like, somebody being inadequate or anything like that. Blood chestplate. Ooh, we are making bank this round. A lot of money and a lot of loot. Not gonna bother with those guys. Probably end up in pain. But Ow. Yeah, so I made friends with people on the internet, and of course I speak to none of them anymore. I don't know how to contact any of them, and that's okay by me, because when it comes down to it, well, I don't know, maybe it's because I moved so much, or maybe other reasons, but when it comes down to it, I think I'm pretty acclimatized to having temporary friendships and, like, connections with people. I don't know. It's definitely something I've thought about before, where it's like, would it be more worth it to actually try and have real-life friends? And I think it's just enough experience with mediocre friends results in me just being like, whatever, who cares? Might as well just make friends with people on the internet, play the games that I actually want to play, and not have to worry about, you know, flaky people going to make-out parties and doing really boring things. It's working out for me. I guess kind of looping back around to how this all ties together, the whole World of Warcraft thing, it was fun, but I quit after a while. It's a huge time sink. And as much as I like gaming, well, you can only play one game for so long before you get like, terrifyingly bored of it. Where else can we go on this level? I guess all the way over to the right. How do we get there? I guess we're gonna try this one, see if we can get up that direction. Or die trying. We've made more than enough stuff. We've pretty much Actually, this isn't half bad. Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad that didn't knock us down. There we go. Get out. Oh, we need to go up from here, don't we? Yeah, we do. But, so how does this all tie together with World of Warcraft and whatnot? And I guess the way it all ties together is I got a penchant for social online gaming, but didn't really want to deal with people. Which is actually part of the reason why I started YouTubing. Because, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the YouTubers like C-Nanners or Gassy Mexican or anything like that, but I've been watching them because I was a bit, I don't know, starved for, not interaction, but like, I was feeling a bit, I guess the phrase I use in my head is content. I was feeling, man, I'm losing my voice. Probably time to end the episode soon. So I'll probably pick this topic up on the next episode, but I'm gonna finish this one up. I was feeling like, you know, I was having a lack of social interaction. Especially, like... Oh, hello, skeleton. I guess it was one of those where you graduate from college, you stop hanging out with people, and so it's like, well, what do you do? And the answer is play video games and kind of sit around at home. I was working at Nickelodeon, I probably said this like 10,000 times, but working there, it was an interesting job for at least a little while, but it was definitely... Where does this bring me? Probably nowhere good. Actually, hey, we can escape. We just have to get through this singular room. Hello, treasure. Right before we die, we got a silver sword. Oh god. Scary. Just keep running, Wander. Just keep running. Oh, or die. Whatever. We got more than enough cash to pretty much afford everything we want. But so I was watching those people because they were funny, but mainly because I wanted kind of some semblance of a social life. And watching other people have a social life is close enough, apparently, for me. But, yeah, so eventually I was just like, hey, these people are having a lot of fun. Maybe I'd have a lot of fun if I, you know, played something like that. +1 vampirism or +10 damage. Well, we've got that. We've got... Okay. I'm gonna go for the silver sword. Because that makes a lot of sense to me. And then I'm going to go for the blood chest, I think. Because it gives me 5 armor, which is only 2 worse than the knight chest. But the vampirism is going to be useful. But, oh. We're actually not maxed out on weight. We're almost maxed out on weight, but, okay, cool. Oh, wait, no, we don't have it equipped. Because I don't think I can equip it, can I? Nope. So what I need to do is equip this helm. then equip the blood chest. There we go, we're maxed out, and we got some vampirism. It's not going to be the greatest yet, but we're definitely getting there. And I don't think I have any more money for anything else. Can I afford anything else just to spend this cash while I have it? Well, I guess we can at least buy the night limbs. We need to buy some more weight, though. But that's okay. Anyway, yeah, I was watching them, and I was like, hey, I can have fun like that, too. And decided to start playing stuff with my girlfriend, and I guess now fiancé, and stuff with other people. Hence, all my ridiculous amount of prop hunt and other fun things with people. Anyway, I think that's it for the episode. It's probably gone on a little bit long. I had a lot to talk about, and probably I will still have a lot more to talk about. There goes Santa Claus. Don't know why Santa Claus is in the background, especially on non-Christmas, but who cares? Whatever. Anyway, like I said, I'll see you guys on the next episode, and as always, thanks for watching.